Welcome everyone to morning yoga. My student today is Kathy. My name is Mark. Grabbing your mat, grabbing your water bottle, grabbing whatever is right and appropriate for you this morning as we work through a morning flow practice. And I'm going to move the camera right now so we can get Kathy on scene. All right. Welcome, Kathy.
Good morning.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm very well, thank you. How about you?
I'm doing well.
Awesome.
Yeah. Anything you want to work on this morning?
Posture.
Posture. Okay.
Standing up straight.
Good call.
Especially as I'm creating my own standing desk, but I think it might be a little low.
Yeah, and I think that's many of us are experiencing that these days as we work more from home in front of our screens. So, as always, we'll do lots of heart openers. We'll get those trapezius muscles engaged. And those trapezius muscles are the muscles known as your angel wings. You want to get those angel wings engaged to open up the heart. All right, so I'll invite you to come to the top of your mat. We'll work on posture straight off the bat. So finding your feet, just picking a stance that works for you. The most challenging in the yoga practice generally is big toes touch, heels are slightly apart. I find that awfully tippy early in the morning, so I usually like to work a little bit wider. And that can always change as you start to find your balance. You can always narrow that stance. From your feet, finding your legs. From your legs, finding your spine. Hands by your side, shoulders relaxed. Long through all sides of the neck as the crown of the head reaches for the sky. And here's another interesting way to think about posture. You might conceive of yourself as a Christmas ornament. I know it's past the season. And there's a string attached to your head. And the other end of the string is attached to the sky, and you're kind of a Christmas ornament just hanging down from the sky, weight heavy at your feet. You want to keep those shoulders a little bit more relaxed. Yeah, try to relax those fingers. Yeah, just let gravity do the work here. And now that you've let gravity do its thing, now you want to start to lift the arches, draw energy up from the floor as you stand up a little taller. Nice. Moving towards our breath here. I'll invite you to bring your hands to your heart. A light press of your thumb against your sternum as you line up each finger. And without shortening the neck, you might conceive of a tennis ball in the front of the throat. And you're rounding your head up and over that ball as we tuck the chin ever so slightly. Soft face, soft eyes. If you're comfortable with closing your eyes, I'll invite you to close your eyes. And we'll start our practice this morning, just watching as our breath flows in and out, arriving here on our yoga mats, ready for a morning flow yoga practice. From this place of just watching your breath, I'll invite you to shape your breath as you find a long, slow inhalation in, and then an equally long and slow exhalation out. Moving towards Samarviti, same breath, equal inhale, equal exhale. Staying with equal inhale, equal exhale, we'll start to deepen that breath even more as we find a full body breath on the inhale, bringing the air to the top of the chest, the base of the belly, filling up each side waist, filling up both front and back planes of your body. And as you breathe out, I'll encourage you to draw the low belly in and up, abdominal engagement, concurrently lifting the kidneys in and up. And as we squeeze a little more air out, also with that abdominal engagement, providing structural support for our low back as we move through these shapes and sequences. Also an important component of posture. To this deeper, fuller, full body breath, I'll invite you to move towards the Ujjayi, the victorious breath, sometimes referred to as the ocean breath. A slight constriction of the base of your throat to add a slight sound and feel to your breath. And as we flow through our practice this morning, letting the sound and feel of your breath be a focus for your practice. Always coming back to that sound and feel, the sound of which often compared to the sound of the ocean as the waves wash in and out. Last two details before we start to attach breath to movement. I'll invite you to take the tip of your tongue to the hard palate just behind your teeth, trying to keep that tongue to hard palate connection throughout the practice, keeping our jaws relaxed and connecting front and back planes of our bodies. And finally, with your lips closed, adding a slight smile to your face, a Mona Lisa smile, opening up the front of your throat so your breath has lots of room to circulate, refresh, and revitalize. Keeping all this, I'll invite you to open your eyes if you closed your eyes, hands by your side. Moving towards Sun Salutation A, we'll take it in pieces, starting just with the arms as we inhale the arms up and over the head. Exhaling arms down. Let's engage the wrists a little bit more as we bring the arms up and over the head. Let's spin the palms in. As the arms come back down, let's spin the palms out. One more time like this. Bringing the arms up and over the head as we spin the palms in. Exhaling as we spin the palms out. Adding a forward fold and a few leg positionings. Breathing in, arms up, spinning the palms in. On the exhale, spinning the palms out as we find a forward fold. Take a breath to find length. Hands come to the top of the knees as we lift chin and tail. On the exhale, catching the back of the calves as we traction ourselves deeply. Inhaling, arms out to the side, moving towards a flat back, hinging at the hips, arms up and over the head. Exhaling, standing tall. Two more times like this. Inhaling, arms up. On the exhale, leading with the heart as we fold. Take a breath to lift chin and tail. Hands catch the top of the knees. On the exhale, catching the back of the calves as we traction ourselves into an arch. Inhaling, arms out to the side, moving towards a flat back, hands up and over the head. Exhaling, standing tall. We got one more to go. Breathing in, lifting up. Exhaling, working with your breath as you fold. Take a breath to find length as you lift chin and tail. On the exhale, catching the back of the calves as we fold again. Inhaling, flat back, hinging at the hips, arms up and over the head. Exhaling, standing tall. Sun Salutation A, this first time I won't cue vinyasa. Inhaling, arms up and over the head. Exhaling, leading with the heart as you fold. Inhaling, hands catch the top of the knees as we arc the back. Exhaling, catching the back of the calves as we arch. Now grounding down through the hands and making your way back to down dog as you will. And you can take your time. As we hold this first down dog, I'll invite you to walk your dog as you bend one leg deeply, grounding down through the opposite heel. And then finding that same stretch on the second side. And then freely moving back and forth between the sides, just stretching it out. How does your body feel this morning? What feels tight? What feels right? What feels somewhere in between? I'm going to lower the camera just a tad. From this place of movement, I'll invite you to move back towards stillness. Long arms, long legs, long spine, deep, full breath. And then on the tail end of a breath, bending the knees ever so slightly, lifting the tailbone a little bit higher. More space in the low back. And then looking between the hands as you mindfully make your way to the front of your mat. Take a breath to find length when you arrive. Hands catch the top of the knees as we arc the back. On the exhale, catching the back of the calves as we round the spine. Inhaling, moving towards a flat back, hands out to the side and then overhead. On the exhale, spinning the palms out, hands by our side. Second one, much like the first, this time I will cue vinyasa. Feel free to leave it out. Inhaling up. Exhaling over. Take a breath to find length. On the exhale, grabbing the back of the calves as we fold ourselves deeper, and then cycling through chaturanga. Elbows stay soft. Yoga push-up, feel free to use the knees or not. Inhaling either into cobra, the hips stay down, or lifting the hips up for your up dog, yogi's choice. And then rolling over the toes as we stretch it back to down dog. Again, as we hold this down dog, we have choices. We can hold it in stillness, just seeing what arises. Or if it feels right and good, I'll invite you to walk that dog again as you bend one leg deeply and then the other, just stirring it up. And again, just checking it out, what feels tight, what feels right, what feels somewhere in between. Those of you that chose movement, moving back towards stillness. Long arms, long legs, long spine, deep, full breath. Despite the lack of overt movement, there's a lot going on. You're breathing, your heart's beating, your mind's moving. And by focusing on the breath, finding a little more space between each breath, each beat of the heart, each thought. Tail end of a breath, bending the knees ever so slightly, lifting the tailbone a little higher, more space in the low back, and then looking between the hands as you mindfully make your way to the front of your mat. Take a breath to find length when you arrive. Hands find the top of the knees. On the exhale, catching the back of the calves as we traction ourselves deeply, rounding the spine, strong tuck of the chin. Inhaling, lifting the chin, flat back, arms out to the side, and then overhead. You might open up the base of the throat, a little bit of a back bend at the end. On the exhale, neutral spine as we stand tall with good posture. Let's do one more sun salé. We'll throw moving plank plus into the mix. Inhaling up. Exhaling, spinning the palms out as we fold. Take a breath to arc the back. On the exhale, arching the spine and cycling through vinyasa if you choose. As you find chaturanga, the elbows stay soft, finding yoga push-up. Inhaling into yoga back bend, be it cobra, the up dog. And then rolling over the toes as you find your down dog. And do you know the moving plank plus sequence? Okay. So we're going to do 3 plank poses, alternating with down dog. And then we'll take it a bit further, if appropriate for your back. And you want to keep the shoulders engaged the whole time to support that action. So inhaling forward to plank pose. On the exhale, back to down dog. Inhaling forward to the plank. Exhale back to down dog. Inhaling forward to the plank. Exhale it back to down dog. Now we'll add the plus component if appropriate. Inhaling forward to down dog, shoulders stay engaged, but the hips get a little bit heavy. It's like up dog with tucked toes. Now navel to spine as you lift the hips high. And you're going really, really big on this. Make sure it's okay for your back. Inhaling forward, letting the hips get a little heavy, shoulders stay engaged. Navel to spine as you lift the hips high. One more time. Inhaling forward, shoulders stay engaged, hips get a little heavy, up dog with tucked toes. And then navel to spine as you lift the hips high and holding for another couple of breaths. Long, smooth breath in. Long, smooth breath out. Tail end of that breath, bending the knees ever so slightly, lifting the tailbone a little higher, more space in the low back. And then either stepping or maybe taking that jump to the front of your mat. Take a breath to find length when you arrive. On the exhale, folding again. Inhaling, moving towards a flat back, arms out to the side. Don't forget about those wrists. On the exhale, spinning the palms out, hands by our side. Sun Salutation B. We'll do it flow style. Finding that narrower stance, big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Finding Utkatasana, knees over toes, hands over head. Flow style, adding an extra breath, exhaling, taking it lower. On the inhale, rising on up, engaging the glutes to support a half back bend at the top, open heart, open throat. On the exhale, a big swan dive over. Take a breath to arc the back. On the exhale, arching the spine as we fold. And again, I'll suggest a strong, strong tuck of the chin. And then grounding down through the hands and making your way back to down dog as you will. Either cycling through vinyasa or skipping all that and just stretching straight back. And again, take your time. Find your flow. From down dog, flow style, big toes touch, heels slightly apart, finding a three-legged dog, right leg high to the sky, high on the left toes. Now looking between the hands, bringing that right foot on through, spinning the left foot down, hands can always find the hips as you find your balance, and then arms up and over the head for our warrior one. Don't forget about those wrists. And then on the exhale, spinning the palms out, finding low lunge as you spin that back heel up. And from low lunge, back to down dog as you will. Either cycling through vinyasa or stretching straight back. Second side, big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Left leg high to the sky, high on the right toes. Now looking between the hands, bringing that left foot on through. Finding your balance as you spin that back heel down. Arms up and over the head for warrior one. And then spinning the palms out, finding low lunge as we spin that back heel up. And then back to down dog as you will. Deep full breaths. And as we hold this for a few breaths, you're not there yet. It's all good. Again, you always have the choice of holding it in stillness, just seeing what arises. Or you might add a little micro movement. Walking the dog could be a very small walk, could be a very big walk. Again, just finding that mind-body connection. As we start to move past the various levels of ourselves, finding that feeling body. How does it feel? And if you chose movement, coming back towards relative stillness. Long arms, long legs, deep full breath. Tail end of our breath, bending the knees ever so slightly, lifting the tailbone a little bit higher. And then looking between the hands as you either step or take that jump to the front of your mat. Take a breath to find length when you arrive. On the exhale, folding again. Again, just a strong tuck of the chin. Feel that stretch in the upper back. Inhaling, arms out to the side, knees over toes. We're going to come back to our chair. Awesome. Exhaling, taking it a little bit lower, more strength in your legs. On the inhale, rising on up, glutes engaged, a little half back bend at the top. On the exhale, neutral spine, hands by our side. Let's do one more sun salutation B. We'll throw a hip opener into the mix. Inhaling into our chair, knees over toes, hands overhead. Exhaling, taking it lower. On the inhale, rising on up. On the exhale, a big swan dive over. Take a breath to find length as you look up. On the exhale, tractioning yourself deeper. Again, I'll suggest strong tuck of the chin. And then from this place, back to down dog as you will. You'll be playing with your jump back at a certain point. As you find chaturanga, yoga push-up, elbows shave the ribs. Inhaling either into your cobra or your up dog. And then stretching it back to down dog. From down dog, flow style, big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Left leg high to the sky for the three-legged dog. High on the right toes. Now keeping, I think I cued the wrong side.
Yeah, maybe you never did the right side.
Right leg high, yeah, we're going to switch here. Right leg high, high on the left toes. Keeping right shoulder just as it is. Lifted leg straight as we stack the hips. Now bending that right leg, opening up that hip. And then looking between the hands. As you bring that foot on through, finding your warrior one. Back leg long, back leg strong, arms up and over the head. You don't, emphasizing the wrists a little bit here. On the exhale, spinning the palms out, back to low lunge as you spin that back heel up. And then back to down dog. As you will, you're cycling through vinyasa or stretching straight back. Now we'll get to that left side. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Left leg high to the sky, high on the right toes. Keeping that left shoulder just as it is, lifted leg straight as we stack the hips. Now bending that lifted leg, opening up that hip. And then looking between the hands. As you swing that left foot on through, spinning the back heel down, arms up and over the head. working those wrists, beautiful. And then spinning the palms out, finding your low lunge as you spin that back heel up. And from low lunge, back to down dog as you will. You want to try an up dog calf. So really lift those hips all the way up. Yeah, pressing the top of the toes. And now rolling over the toes as you stretch it back to down dog. Nice. And as we hold down dog, coming back to that Samavriti, that same breath. Equal inhale and equal exhale. For those of you all at home, that's a strenuous sequence. At any point, you could always choose a child's pose. Another great place to go is an all fours position. Finding that balance between your effort and your ease. From down dog, long, smooth breath in. Long, smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, bending the knees ever so slightly, lifting the tailbone a little bit higher, and then looking between the hands as you either step or take that jump front. Take a breath to find length when you arrive. On the exhale, catching the back of the calves as you traction yourselves deeper, strong tuck of the chin. On the inhale, stay low, knees over toes, hands over head for our chair, our Utkatasana. Exhaling, taking it lower. On the inhale, rising on up, a little half back bend at the top. On the exhale, neutral spine. I'll invite you to bring hands back to your heart. A light press of your palms as your weight gathers in your feet. And as we hold this stretch, another 2 or 3 breaths, maybe finding that alternate way to conceive of your posture. You're a Christmas tree ornament. The crown of your head is pinned to the sky, and your body heavies down from that place. And then lifting the chin, hands by our side. Let's bring hands on hips as we step or jump our feet hip width apart. On the inhale, we'll bring arms up to one side. On the exhale, passing the hands through center, bending the knees, and I'll invite you to give your wrists a little flick. And then other side. We'll do 6. That was 3. Here's 4. A couple more each way. 1 more each side. And then back up. And either stepping or jumping it in, thin like a pin. An extended standing pose sequence, sun salutation C. It starts with a chair. Knees over toes, hands over head. Don't forget those wrists. Exhaling, taking it lower. Awesome. On the inhale, rising on up. On the exhale, a big swan dive over. Take a breath to find length. And then breathing out, back to down dog as you will. Either cycling through vinyasa or stretching straight back. So let's repeat that hip opening sequence. I'll get the right side this time. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Right leg high to the sky. High on the left toes. Keeping that right shoulder just as it is. Lifted leg straight as we stack the hips. Now bending that lifted leg, opening up that hip. And then looking between the hands as you bring that right foot through, spinning the left heel down, arms up and over the head for our Warrior One. In Warrior One, I'll invite you to bring hands back to the hips as we shift weight onto the front foot to scoot that back foot back, lengthening our stance. With our hands on our hips, we can steer back hip front and front hip back. Now stretching out our wrists, 4 fingers find the tip of the thumb. We try to touch the front of our wrists. And then we bring those bird beaks onto our shoulders, relaxing our shoulders and squaring our heart front. Now finding a clasp of the fingers behind the head, pressing the head into the hands, elbows wide to the side, open heart, open throat, and then stretching those hands high to the sky. And we're going to really exaggerate the wrists here. Straightening front leg without locking the knee. We're going to gather up the energy as we spin the palms back. On the exhale, cactus arms as we spin the palms out. And let's do this 6 times. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Halfway done. Breathing in and breathing out. The last 2. Breathing in and breathing out. Last one. Breathing in. Breathing out and holding. Elbows move back. The hands come with, and allow you to ripple those fingers. It's inviting more prana into our hands, into our wrists. Now let's bring hands onto hips. Let's shift the weight onto the front foot as we spin the back heel up. We're moving towards warrior 3 here. We're going to take a big step in. We're going to start to get down a little bit low here. So you're really bending the right knee as we float the left foot up. That could be your warrior 3 pose. Otherwise, moving towards extension as we pitch the body a little bit more forward. Either keeping hands on hips, or we can stretch those hands towards that back foot. Shoulders stretch away from the ears. If you have more gas in your tank, finding your eagle arms out to the side. And finally, the classic exposition is arms in front as if you're holding a large glass ball. And then challenging your balance as you lift the face to look through that ball. Awesome. Wherever your hands went, I'll invite you to bring them back to the hips as we land that back foot lightly. Arms up and over the head as we come back to our warrior 2. And I'll invite you to lengthen that stance, In our warrior 2, let's bring in warrior 1, we're going to turn it into warrior 2 as hands find the heart. Prayer hands, And then we're going to open up our hips to face the side wall. And you might narrow that stance a little bit. Classically, it's heel to arch alignment. From here, finding one long arm, looking out past those front fingers with a steady yet relaxed gaze. From here, let's paint rainbows. And again, let's focus a little exaggeration of the wrist here as we straighten the front leg without locking the knee. We spin the palm back. On the exhale, back to warrior 2, flat palm facing the floor. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. We're halfway done here. Breathing in and breathing out. Last 2, breathing in, breathing out. Last 1, breathing in and holding the reverse warrior, reaching up higher, reaching down further, feeling more space in that lateral front line, more space between each rib, and then breathing into that space. Just feel the stretch. Turning the reverse warrior back into warrior 2 as we bend that front leg one long arm. From here, finding a rainbow warrior, a clasp of the fingers behind the back, shoulder blades back and down onto rib shelf. Open heart, open throat. And feeling free to hang here, you could always grab a strap or a towel. Or choosing to challenge your balance with a forward fold inside the front leg. Tail end of the motion, when you can't fold any deeper. Relax neck, heavy head. I'll also invite you just to let those shoulders heavy down to the floor as we get a nice stretch in the upper back. Whatever sensation you're feeling, breathing into that sensation. Using our breath as a vehicle for our consciousness. And again, just finding that feeling body. How does it feel? And just reveling in that feeling. It feels so good to have a morning flow practice. Before you come up, I'll invite you to find that strong tuck of the chin. So stay in the forward fold, really tuck the chin. Feeling a nice stretch in the back of the neck. Now keeping the chin tucked, we're going to come all the way up. Now lifting the chin tall through the crown as you come back to your warrior 2. From here, transitioning to the triangle. Thumb and forefinger find crease of hip and base of rib. So here and here. We're going to deepen that crease. We're going to lengthen those ribs. I'm a little teacup, short and stout. And then grounding that bottom hand down, thumb in line with the shin bone. Left hand opens up that top shoulder. And then stretching that hand high to the sky for the triangle. As we hold the triangle with every breath in, as your diaphragm stretches down towards your navel, gathering energy in that place. As you breathe out, as the diaphragm domes up towards the heart and relaxes, we send energy out through 2 legs, and both ends of the spine. Finding a place to look that works for your balance, down to the ground, off to the horizon, or maybe up to the sky. From here, let's move towards the triangle in 1 foot. As top hand finds the hip, bending the front knee as we take a big step in, moving towards our half moon pose. I'll suggest setting the pose with 2 hands, at least this first one, lifting the back leg any amount. Now that could be your half moon, no big deal. Otherwise, moving towards extension through both legs. Second hand can find the hip. It opens up that top shoulder. There you go. And then stretches high to the sky. And again, finding a place to look that works for your breath, your balance, either down or grounding, off to the horizon, a little less so. If you want to challenge that balance as we experiment with our proprioception, you'd spin the face to look up. And if it's not happening, it's not happening. Again, as we hold the shape, breathing into your center of balance, and as you breathe out from that place of balance, connecting the center of yourself to the periphery of the universe. To come down, I'll cue a short stance. Hand finds the hip. No big deal, that back foot comes down. Shifting the weight into the feet as you come on up. Now lengthening your stance as you shift weight onto the front foot to find your warrior two. And from here, I'll suggest a big windmill of the arms as we find our low lunge. Spinning back, heel up. And then back to down dog, as you will, either cycling through vinyasa or stretching straight back. And again, take your time. Many times our mind moves faster than our body, so we conceive of where we want to go. And we need to give our body time to catch up. Same thing. When you're cueing a yoga class, sometimes I cue it a little too fast. As we hold this down dog shape, just coming back to that Samarvriti. Even inhale, even exhale. So let's sneak in a little interlude here. Let's move back to that moving plank plus exercise, if appropriate. If not, just hanging out in your down dog. As we inhale, forward to plank pose. And on the exhale, back to down dog. Inhaling forward to plank. Exhale, back to down dog. Inhaling forward to the plank. Exhale, back to down dog. We're going to add the plus component. Inhaling forward to plank, shoulders stay engaged, but the hips get a little bit heavy. And again, you go pretty big on this, so make sure it's what your back wants to do. And then navel to spine, as you lift it on up. Inhaling forward to plank. Letting those hips get heavy, make sure your back's happy here. Navel to spine as you lift the hips high. One more time. Inhaling forward to the plank, hips get a little bit heavy. And then navel to spine as you lift the hips high. And holding for another breath or so. From down dog, long, smooth breath in. Long, smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, bending the knees ever so slightly, lifting the tailbone a little higher. More space in the low back. And then looking between the hands as you either step or take a jump to the front of your mat. Take a breath to find length when you arrive. Hands catch the top of the knees, spreading those fingers wide. On the exhale, catching the back of the calves as we traction ourselves deeper. Strong tuck of the chin. Inhaling, knees over toes, hands over head as we find our chair. Don't forget those wrists. Exhaling, taking it deeper. On the inhale, rising on up. On the exhale, neutral spine. I'll invite you to bring hands to heart. This time adding an isometric engagement, if it's okay on your wrist. As we push the palms together, elbows out to the side. A tuck of the tail, a tuck of the chin, shoulders engaged. Connecting with the strength of our center. And then lifting the chin. Tall through the crown. So we'll do that standing pose, Sun South C on our second side. It starts with a chair. Knees over toes, hands over head. Exhaling, taking it lower. On the inhale, rising on up. On the exhale, a big swan dive over. Take a breath to find length. And then breathing out, tractioning yourself deeper, strong tuck of the chin. And then grounding on down, either cycling through vinyasa or stretching straight back. Yogi's choice. Awesome. From our down dog, left side, big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Left leg high to the sky, high on the right toes. Trying to keep that left shoulder just as it is, lifted leg straight as we stack the hips. Now bending that lifted leg, opening up that hip. And then looking between the hands. As you bring that left foot through, spinning the right heel down, arms up and over the head for our warrior one. And again, take your time. In our warrior one, let's bring hands back to the hips as we shift weight onto the front foot, lengthening our stance as we scoot that back foot back. And classically, it's heel to heel alignment. If that's not where your hips are this morning, you can always work it a little bit wider. You're actually working a little bit more narrow. I'd say kick that back foot out a little bit more. Yeah, there you go. Nice, beautiful. With our hands on our hips, we can steer back hip front, front hip back. Now finding 4 fingers on the tip of the thumb. I call them bird beaks. We try to touch the front of our wrists. Anything else that feels right and good, go for it. And then bringing those bird beaks onto our shoulders to relax our shoulders and square our heart front. Now consciously switching the clasp of the fingers. Pressing the head into the hands, open heart and throat, elbows wide to the side. 4th and 5th chakra, community and communication, heart and throat chakra. And then stretching those hands high to the sky. And let's really focus on the wrists here. Straightening front leg without locking the knee as we spin the palms back. On the exhale, cactus arms as we spin the palms out. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. We're halfway done. Breathing in and breathing out. Last 2. Breathing in, breathing out. Last 1, breathing in, breathing out in, holding cactus arms. As the elbows move back, the wrists come with, on the right, ripple those fingers, inviting circulation in our hands. And then from here, we did something different. We went to warrior 3. Hands find the hips. We're going to bend the front leg as we shift the weight onto that front foot, spinning the back heel up as we take a big step in. And we're going to start to shift weight onto that front foot as we bend. We float the back foot. Now this could be your warrior 3. Some people call this the helicopter. So we got a bent knee here, bent knee here. Really easy to find your balance with the knees a little bit bent. There's lots of options for your leg as it finds its balance. Those of us who know the shape, we can move towards extension through both legs. Either keeping hands on hips or stretching fingers back to the toes, shoulders move away from the ears. Awesome. If this is where you want to stay, you stay right here. Otherwise, moving towards your eagle arms. Lots of width across the front and back heart. Moving towards the classic X position, a large glass ball in front. And then working with that proprioception as we lift our face to look through that ball. If you want to keep playing with the wrists, go for it. Whatever feels right and good for you. And one thing I might say classically is you want to pitch your body even further. You might think of a rope on the back leg lifting it up. A weight on the front torso as it pitches you down towards the floor. And the most you'd ever want to go is parallel unless you take it into standing splits, which we're not going to do today. Hands come back to the hips. We can land that back foot lightly, most likely a short stance. From here, I'll invite you to lengthen your stance as we bring arms up and over the head, coming back to our warrior 1. Turning warrior 1 back into warrior 2 as hands find the heart. We open up the hips to face to side, and now we narrow that stance for that heel to arch alignment. Back leg long, back leg strong, looking out over those front fingers with that mixture of effort and ease. From here, let's exaggerate the wrist action as we paint rainbows, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. We're halfway done. Breathing in, breathing out. Last 2, breathing in, breathing out. Last 1, we'll hold the reverse warrior, reaching up higher, reaching down further, feeling the stretch between each rib, and then breathing into that stretch, into that space, as we find more space in this front lateral line. Reverse warrior comes back to warrior 2. And then from here, we're going to find that other clasp of the fingers behind the back, moving towards our rainbow warrior, shoulder blades back and down, open heart, open throat. And feeling free to hang here. This is a very challenging pose, particularly if you add the forward fold. Otherwise, leading with the heart as you take that forward fold inside the front leg. Take your time. Really put your mind in your feet. And then when you can't fold anymore, we can lift the hands up and over the back, relax neck, heavy head. And just as a special treat this morning, letting those shoulders heavy down towards the floor so you get a nice stretch in the upper back. And breathing into that stretch. Using our breath as a vehicle for our attention. Connecting with our feeling body. And of course, always feeling free to add movement. Letting any tension in the neck and shoulders just drain down through the crown of the head into the earth. And just really relax that neck if you can, Kath, without losing your balance. Now, before we come up, we want to stretch out the back of the neck. So we're going to stay in the forward fold. We find a strong tuck of the chin. Keeping that strong tuck of the chin as we come on up. And we'll come back to our warrior two. One long arm. From warrior two, we're going to transition to Trikonasana, the triangle. Thumb and forefinger finds crease of hip and base of rib. We deepen that crease, we lengthen those ribs. I'm a little teacup, short and stout. Grounding that bottom hand down, we can line the thumb up with the shin bone to open up that bottom shoulder. Opening up top shoulder, and then stretching hand high to the sky. And as we hold the shape, with every inhale, gathering energy in your center of balance. With every exhale from that central place, connecting yourself to the very edges of the universe. In kids yoga, we call this the starfish pose. So thinking of yourself as a starfish from that strong and steady center, long through all the limbs. From here, we'll find the triangle on one foot, the half moon, if appropriate. Hand finds the hip. We can bend the front leg as we take a big step in. Now, first side, we set the shape with two hands. This time, you know the pose, Kath, so I'm going to ask you just to set it with one hand. So, hand and a foot. There you go. Hand finds the hip. We can open up the shoulder. We can stretch that hand high to the sky. So you can either use the hand or not, but you did it with your breath in your mind instead. As we hold the shape, and maybe the arm just a little bit more in line, yeah. Beautiful. Breathing into your center of balance, and from that place, as you connect with the pulsation of the breath, getting bigger with every breath. And then finding a place to look. Down is very grounding, off to the side, less so. Up to the sky, the most challenging. And why don't you just think about what would happen if you did that? Maybe even just shifting the eyes inside your eye sockets. Awesome. Looks like you could hold that for eternity. From here, coming down with grace and control, hand finds the hip as we land a short stance. Easy peasy, shifting the weight into the feet, lengthening the stance when we get up there, finding our warrior two. And from warrior two, finding a windmilling of the arms, feel free to work those wrists, finding our low lunge, and from low lunge, back to down dog, as you will. From our down dog shape, when you get there, take your time. I'll invite you to land the knees lightly as we find a child's pose, nestling our belly inside our thighs. As we hold this child's pose, as you breathe in, letting your belly massage your thighs. As you breathe out, letting your thighs massage your belly. Connecting with a big ball of warmth in the center of ourselves. Many of us know how to engage our core. It's also equally important learning how to relax our core. From here, let's walk our hands in and bring our feet off to one side. And let's find two long legs in front. So once you come to the top of the mat, and we'll do 3 roll downs and 3 roll ups. And then we'll call it a morning here. So starting from tall spine, back of the head in line with the sacrum. Finding C-spine as we tuck tail and chin, and we slowly roll ourselves down. When we get down, full body, stretch arms by the ears, not too low. We're going to keep the ribs soft and drawing in. The low back's going to lift. On the exhale, flexing hands and feet, lifting the head to tuck the chin, pressing the back into the mat as we roll ourselves up. Take a breath to sit tall. On the exhale, puffing out back heart as we come back to C-spine. Inhaling back to tall spine, flat back, neutral spine, all the same thing. And then tucking tail and chin as we slowly roll ourselves down. Inhaling, full body stretch, the low back lifts. On the exhale, pressing the back into the mat as we roll ourselves up. Inhale, tall spine. Exhale, C-spine. Inhale, tall spine. Exhaling, rolling ourselves down. Inhale, full body stretch, the low back lifts. Exhaling, pressing the back into the mat as we roll ourselves up. Inhale, tall spine. Exhale, C-spine. Inhale, tall spine. And then finding a very loose forward fold as we drape ourselves over our legs. Relax shoulders, a soft tuck of the chin. Putting your mind in your back. And whatever you're feeling in your back, sending your breath to that place. And here with our lungs, pretty much a big part of back body plane, you can physically send your breath to that place. It's not just a metaphor. As we massage ourselves from the inside out using our breath. From here, before we lay down and relax, let's do the classic yoga abdominal exercise. As we come back to a flat back, tall spine, we can scoot the heels in as we catch the back of the thighs. In this one, the tailbone is going to be a little bit tucked as we balance on the tailbone. So it's very similar to the back bend we do with the glutes engaged to support the upper back. Now we've got a slight tuck of the tailbone to support the action. But we want to be very open in heart and throat chakra as we start to float those feet. Now letting go. Now lengthening through the legs. Any amount. Landing a butterfly in the air. Thumbs catch the insoles of the feet as we sit tall. Leading with the heart, hinging at the hips, flat back as long as you can. And then letting the spine round as we relax the shoulders. Soft tuck of the chin. There's a mantra, also known as an affirmation that goes with this. I go deep within to find all that I need. As we breathe into back heart, inner thighs soften with every exhale. A tuck of the chin as we come back to flat back. Using our hands to close our thighs, keeping the inner thighs soft. 2 long legs in front, 1 long last roll down here. Finding C-spine, laying each vertebrae down as if we're laying pearls onto a cushion. 1 last full body stretch when we get down there, the low back lifts. And then letting your body relax as you sweep your hands by your side, widening the thighs, scooting the head back. Doing whatever else feels right and good for you as we find our Shavasana. With every exhale breath, letting your body be a little heavier on the mat. And we won't be here too long at home, of course, feeling free to stay in your Shavasana as long as you'd like. For the purposes of this online class, for the purposes of this yoga space, I'm going to ring these yoga bells 3 times. Moving your minds before you move your body. Bringing your attention back to your breath, watching as it flows in and out. Much like watching a river as the river flows by. Now shaping your breath with a long, slow inhalation, followed by an even longer, slower exhalation as we start to vary the ratio between the inhale and the exhale, letting those exhales be a little bit longer, a little bit slower. letting those longer, slower exhales dissipate any lingering tension in your body. Just let it go on those longer, slower exhales. Now inviting more prana, more life force into your body as you gently ripple fingers and toes. Inviting that prana, that circulation, that life force in towards center as we gently circle our wrists and our ankles. Adding a little shimmy of the shoulders, a little shake of the hips, connecting with your own innate wisdom as to what's right and good for you, what feels good, and then going to that place. Now moving towards Apanasana as we draw one knee in and then the other, hands catch the shins. Back of the head stays down, using our thighs any amount to gently massage our center of balance, 3 or 4 fingers below the navel. Any movement that feels right and good, go for it. Keeping those knees close in, stretching long through the right arm, rolling onto your right side, letting that arm serve as a cushion for the head. I'll invite you to let your next exhale sigh out through your mouth, softening your shoulders, relaxing your jaw, softening the corners of your eyes. And then keeping everything soft and relaxed as you push into your hand or hands to find a cross-legged sit. As we sit, I'll invite you to bring your hands onto your knees, pulling back with your hands to settle the shoulders as we sit up a little straighter, a little taller. Without shortening the neck again, you might think of a ball here, and you're lengthening up and over the ball as we tuck the chin ever so slightly. 5 fingers of one hand find the ground. The palm of the other hand faces the sky. Ending our practice as we started, watching as our breath flows in, and watching as our breath flows out. From this place of breath awareness, I invite you to bring your hands to your heart and bow as you thank yourself for practicing yoga, and as we offer our practice out to each other and to the world. The light within me honors and respects the light within you. And in this light, we are one. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you, Kathy, for practicing with me.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, everyone.
And thank everyone at home for practicing with us, even if it's on tape delay. And I hope you enjoy the class. And we're here most Wednesdays. I can't promise we'll be here every Wednesday, but we enjoy doing this sequence, and hopefully you enjoy practicing with us. We'll see you all next time.